Let's see. I've been working on my diction, so let's give this a shot. Three Wise. Nope.
Three Wise Radio.
Bucket Feet messed up on an exchange with me because their shoes run small, so I ordered several pairs of shoes and then found out the hard way that they run small. So I sent 3 pairs back. They sent me 3 pairs of the same 3 pairs. So I now have 9 shoes. Then it's just like, why?
You don't
what
need
am I
that
gonna?
many.
I don't, because it's like 3 white shoes, 3 black shoes, and 3 other shoes.
But you can mix and match.
I could.
That's nice. Oh, I forgot to mention that I saw the Life trailer. It played in John Wick.
no.
Yeah, I know it did.
So I was just like,
As soon as it
I
came
was
out,
like, I closed my eyes to start, and then as soon as I started hearing it, I was like, well, this isn't going to work. So I just watched the whole thing. It looks great. Yeah.
Even that one looks kind of alien-y, but it's still not as good as the JFK one.
That was the one we saw.
Was that the JFK speech?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a completely different Life trailer.
No, that's the one we got. And yeah, it looks really good.
I got like the Goodnight Moon one.
Oh, no.
No, yeah, there's another one I got before John Wick where it's like they're reading Goodnight Moon to it.
But no, it looks good, and you're right. It is have kind of an alien vibe. It's more about the atmosphere and the impending. Like Alien is such a prolific character now, but when that movie first started, a lot of it was just about what you didn't really see for a long time. So yeah, I'm super on board. It looks great. I'm happy that it's our next stop on the movie train.
Speaking of movie trains, we reviewed John Wick today and take a look at. I know.
Okay.
But it is a movie that we review. And just like Valentine's Day and romantic relationships, more disagreements on today's show. Welcome to Three Wise Radio, a podcast where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, technology, the internet, and pretty much everything else media related. My name is Joe Greller. I am joined as usual by Garrett Welker and Sam Pixley. Happy Valentine's Day, guys.
Happy Valentine's Day, Joe.
Love you
Glad
guys.
to be celebrating it with you. And you too, Garrett.
Thanks, Sam.
Yep.
Love you guys.
It's the only way you've ever celebrated Valentine's Day for the past 5 years is with me.
That, yeah, it's cool. It's pretty close to accurate.
Maybe 4. Maybe we're on 4.
I think it's still 5, though. I'm just not a good boyfriend. I've been in relationships. Just not busy. There's things to do, Steve.
More than one, less than 3.
Speaking of, joining us this week, you may remember him from way back in the day of Steve's Cooking. Steve Clemens, our, well, you know what? No, Garrett's in a relationship too. I was going to be like, well, he can be our relationship correspondent.
I mean, he can still be our relationship correspondent.
I don't want to be your relationship correspondent.
But because of that, because it's Valentine's Day this week, we'll be looking at rom-coms, but probably not the way that you think about most romantic comedies. We'll also be, like we said, reviewing John Wick, because Keanu Reeves is back in theaters, who was in the news, so I'll segue into headlines that way. He was on Graham Norton promoting John Wick 2 and fully teased Bill and Ted 3. So apparently a script is in the works, and we are getting Bill and Ted 3 sometime in 2019.
Who's the other guy?
Alex Winter.
What's he doing?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. That's why there's the Entourage joke about,
Yes.
I can't think of the boss's name. Who was Jeremy Piven's boss?
Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell. Like, apparently, like, the joke was, like, he took Keanu and gave Jeremy Piven the other guy when he was starting out. And I know he did a guest spot when I was still watching Bones. He was one of, like, the interns on Bones for an episode. But
Was he an intern or a villain? Or
he was an intern. Just an intern in one of the episodes.
Oh, no. He was in Ben 10 Alien Swarm. It's fine. He's doing good.
Okay, so he's still doing voice work. He's fine.
Now, that's live action, buddy.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Is it out?
7 years ago.
Oh, God.
It's like a straight-to-TV movie, probably.
Yeah.
But, and then he apparently tried to go back into his, what is the quintessential Keanu Reeves? You have The Matrix and you have Bill and Ted Keanu Reeves impressions. And Keanu couldn't do his own version of Ted anymore. Like, he went into it and then failed.
I'm so confused, concerned about this movie.
The
Because
plot-
right now, the whole thing for Keanu, the big selling point is like, man, which we'll talk about later, he's such a physical actor. You're not going to be like, oh, did you see Bill and Ted 3? So physical. I hope not.
Well, not to mention, like, George Carlin's dead.
That is true.
And he's a huge part of those movies.
If you're going to hologram someone, though. For the sake of this movie,
Yeah.
I think you could.
You are absolutely right. In other news, speaking of movie news and sequels that probably no one asked for, when on the British Academy Film Awards red carpet, Sophie Turner said she just got done shooting season 7 of Game of Thrones and is getting ready to start the next X-Men movie soon. I was unaware they were making yet another one with her.
Yeah, it's dubbed like something Phoenixy.
It's Dark Phoenix, and it's supposed to take place 10 years after Apocalypse. That's all the information that is out right now. But she's like, yeah, I'm going to shoot that, and then we're going to go do season 8.
Is it bad that I'm actually starting to turn with, because I think a while back we talked about how the X-Men universe in TV was garbage, like we were not looking forward to it. I think I actually might be looking more forward to like a contained X-Men universe than this continuation of this movie timeline. With Logan, to me, it's not just a Wolverine ending, it's an ending to just all those movies.
Yeah.
And apparently, I haven't watched it yet. I wanted to watch Legion this week. Apparently, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's gotten good reviews so far.
But
FX does do good shows. All right, I got some other movie news here of just dumb stuff. But let's talk about something that people claim are important that I didn't watch, but Sam apparently kept tabs on.
yes.
The Grammys were this past
Oh,
weekend.
I watched all the Grammys.
I did not.
Oh, I didn't watch all the Grammys. I just watched enough YouTube videos afterwards to feel like I got the picture.
Watch the Grammys. What is some things that happened during the Grammys?
CeeLo Green wore an all gold suit and golden mask, so he looked like
Goldar?
one of the
No.
no. You know, like one of the, so his mask was
Shorter
essentially
and
the
fatter.
immortal, the Immortals from 300, but solid gold. So now there's lots of people making spicy memes out of him as Zordon and of him as just lots of different fun characters. But if you guys haven't seen it, this is the outfit. Just kind of walked around, and the best one was, of course, a red carpet picture of who wore it best, and it's him and C-3PO. Obviously.
Beautiful.
That was one of the highlights. Biggest one that concerned me is just, I feel like, have we hit a threshold where we're getting a golden calf situation with Beyonce? Like a
I believe
false
so.
idol, and people are starting.
Yeah.
It's starting to bring on the cultish kind of
Oh,
thing.
it is. It's already there, I think.
It's very
I get it.
scary.
See, I have no clue what happened during the Grammys. All I know is I've seen one photo, and it's like her mom, her sitting pregnant, and like Blue Ivy on her right, and like the crowd is just silent, and there's like blackness behind them.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did she come out and sing a song? Like,
Yeah, so there were a lot of holograms of just like motherhood and things like that. She was very scantily clad, and then she rose up wearing kind of like, do you remember like the hood, or like not a hood ornament, but the like the attire that like Aaliyah wore in Queen of the Damned?
yeah.
Like take that, but make it solid gold, and
Yeah.
so she kind of just was in that, and then she sang a song, and then she leaned back in a chair, and she's pregnant, so everyone was like concerned, but it was clearly like a propped up chair, and everybody was crying.
I don't have much experience with pregnant women, but are you not supposed to lean back in a chair when you're
You're not
pregnant?
supposed to do much of anything.
I think you can lean back in a chair when you're pregnant, right?
No. The chair like flew back like 90 degrees.
Oh,
Like, it
so we're
went
not
all
talking
the
like
way
a couch, like you're laying on like a
it's not
chair with a
she
back.
wasn't-
I'm like,
no, she
well,
wasn't
seems
just
like the
chilling
best-
while she was singing a
Okay.
song. It was like
seems like the best place to be.
it was a stunt. And then that went away, and then Adele won Best Artist of the Year or whatever, and she said that Beyonce should have won.
She snapped it in half or
She
something.
snapped it in half to give her part of it. And then just everybody was weeping for Beyonce. And I guess, again, incredibly talented actor, or I guess she was
Gold member.
Gold member. It counts. Very talented, very beautiful, but I think we're getting to the point where she couldn't do anything wrong.
It is starting to raise questions on was Jay-Z or still is in the Illuminati that we are now using his wife as like
I don't want to steal the
God
phrase,
figure.
but I would
The
say
worship.
Illuminati confirmed.
Illuminati.
I mean, their kid, what, Blue Ivy?
Yeah.
Ivy Blue?
Blue Ivy.
Would just sit there, and the camera would show shots of her sitting there, and people are just like, incredible. She looks sleepy. What a kid. Yep. And the only other thing with it is it seemed like it was kind of a mess because James Corbin, who did the intro, he did his stunts, which was actually showing like everything going wrong, like the lift that brought him out of the stairs only stopped halfway, and then he like fell down the steps and like did that shtick. But then when the actual concert started, Adele messed up her lines and had to restart the song. Also, when the lead singer of Metallica was singing a song with Lady Gaga, her mic worked and his didn't for the first minute of the song. So it was like the joke was, this isn't well put together. And then it progressively
Wasn't well put together.
not well put together throughout the entirety of it. So 10 out of 10 for me.
The Grammys were flawless. I guess the last thing I'll say on Beyonce, on your golden calf situation,
Very concerned.
is you're probably right, because I don't think Lemonade was that good.
I don't know. She has a baseball bat in one of the scenes. I didn't listen to it.
That's the thing. It's along the lines of like the Pink Floyd thing, where it's like at least Pink Floyd had like another brick in the wall. Like they had a hit off that album that they eventually turned into like this opera or whatever that you saw like go through their album. Beyonce just did that, and I don't remember a hit coming off that album. But people are like, this is the greatest album ever, and I'm like, there wasn't one hit.
Yeah, there wasn't there?
No,
All I remember
Isn't
about
it called Lemonade?
no, that was the album.
Right, but what was the big? Okay,
I think there's like a big music video. And
Yeah, it was
I
like
hate
It
it.
was the hour-long album.
Yeah. So what happened? Season 6, episode 1, Game of Thrones. Me and my sister, her husband, and friends get together. My sister was supposed to have DVR'd this, and we turn it on, and Lemonade, the video thing, starts playing, and we are flipping out because Game of Thrones has started, and we're trying to watch it, and everyone is furious, and we end up finding it eventually, but I've never
Formation was from that
considered
album.
watching.
We didn't play that on air. Formation did what? Where did peak at?
That was the one that she premiered at the Super Bowl.
Oh, I'm sure Formation was up there. It was the one where she
No.
was like depicting the like.
The
Deep
video.
South.
The video is a thing, but it wasn't on radio. What did peak at on Hot 100?
I don't know. I would assume the top of the charts. I don't know how charts work.
Oh, Beyonce.
Actually, it could have, because charts do now include your YouTube plays.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, that is what do consider a lot of music charts now. Even like when you go and like, oh, I want to watch this video on YouTube, that's included in what's ranking of a song.
Formation, Sorry, Hold Up, Freedom, All Night.
Okay, I remember Sorry. All right, I'll give you that one.
So
I can't
still.
think. I don't know what Sorry is. Ruben Studdard did a song called Sorry in 2004.
Sorry is
Bieber
also
had one.
yeah.
Seems like a theme.
And it's also might be what the Coen brothers are saying after their Scarface remake, which is set to come out in 2018, hits theaters August 10th of 2018. It currently doesn't have a director since Antoine Fuqua recently dropped out to do the sequel to Equalizer. So with Denzel Washington.
Who's gonna touch that with a 10-foot? Why are the Coen brothers?
They
on
wrote
that?
it. Yeah.
What? Yeah, but why?
I don't know. They're in talks with Universal right now to distribute a film that has no director and is a remake.
But you know what, though? Maybe they could actually turn it around, and this could be the Scarface movie that people remember. Because Scarface is a garbage movie.
Yeah, Pacino, his accent is atrocious.
It's horrible. But maybe the Coen brothers will make like this really prolific Scarface movie that will then gain the notoriety it was supposed to have.
It's a
Steve, are
possibility.
you excited about it?
Never seen Scarface.
Awesome.
You're not missing much. Don't you have it digitally?
Yeah, I got lots of stuff actually.
Okay. Doesn't mean you watch it all.
Yeah, it's more of a habit of downloading things than it is watching them.
Okay.
It's about having a collection.
Yeah, it's about having the options when I want.
Yeah.
To never use
It's
it.
impressive when you pull up your, your movie library and like, oh, you have Scarface. Like, yeah, I'm cultured.
I don't have a segue for this, but apparently Will Smith is too happy to do a Tim Burton live-action Dumbo film. He recently is passing on that now. So, Suicide Squad 2 now? Because that's supposedly what was the scheduling conflict to get that started.
He's too happy to do it.
I mean, a
do
Tim
a
Burton
what?
film?
Live action what?
Dumbo.
Dumbo, the Disney movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Elephant.
Big floppy ears.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Okay. I've seen that.
You've seen Dumbo? Yeah. Okay.
I honest to God don't remember what happens in Dumbo.
Pink elephants.
He flies and there's like crow villains.
There's a crow with a hat on, right?
It's
very
kind of
racially
racist, isn't it?
charged,
Yeah. Probably Helen Bonham Carter's going to play the Crow or something. I don't know. Usually what happens. Johnny Depp will play the mouse or something. That's the way it usually goes. Cool. A sequel Sam does want, and Duncan Jones wants, but they're waiting to hear from Legendary back on it, is the Warcraft sequel. Apparently Duncan Jones this week is pressing via social media Legendary to give him an answer on whether or not they want to greenlight a Warcraft sequel.
No, they won't, but they should.
They still say there is hope because it was a major hit in China, breaking the 5-day regional record of $156 million, and internationally dethroned Prince of Persia as the most successful video game movie of all time.
Bam.
So
not really high
Prince of
praise.
Persia.
That had the powerful Jake Gyllenhaal and Gemma Arterton.
I remember when that was a thing.
And Ben Kingsley?
Yeah, I thought so too.
Ben Kingsley in that? Or is that the other guy?
It's got sand, so I just assume Ben Kingsley's in it.
That's so close.
What? He's always
Gandhi?
playing some sort. Yeah, he's always playing some sort of a big person. I don't know what Ben Kingsley is because
I'm pretty sure he's white.
is he?
He's
Yes.
English.
Okay, so
Yeah,
okay.
Sir Ben. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he is Sir, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, he's English. Oh, it's Sean Connery, Sir.
For his accents. Accent.
Ben Kingsley actually has more accents than Sean Connery.
Yeah, I meant accent.
Accent.
Singular.
Okay,
Very impressive.
that was actually less racist as I went along.
Was it racist ever?
I don't know. I felt like
Ben
it
Kingsley
was.
does play. Wait, who played Gandhi?
Ben Kingsley.
Okay, there we go. What a palette. I don't know.
All right, our final headline before we get into John Wick. Warner Brothers is already reporting, according to Forbes, that the Batman script is going to go under a rewrite now that Ben Affleck has stepped down as director.
I just saw a report 2 days ago that said everybody was thrilled with the script, so I'm going to go dark on this movie until they announce an official director.
Right.
Still pulling for Matt Reeves, but I saw the other two names in the running. Oh my God. Why can I never remember this?
So
guy's
the
name?
other list I have in front of me, according to Forbes again, is George Miller, Gavin O'Connor, Dennis Villanueva, and Matt Ross.
See, I also got different info, which
Okay.
Shocking.
Right.
The names are just being checked. Fede Alvarez from the Evil Dead remake.
Interesting.
Interesting, yes, which that's not always a bad thing. And then, oh my God, he did an Alien movie. Damn it. Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott's not going to do a Batman movie.
No.
Fede Alvarez.
Could you
though, is
imagine
interesting.
though?
I don't think he's ever done a big budget. Though.
I'm too scared we're going to get... Actually, you know what I would want? If Man Bat's the villain, go Freddy Alvarez. If not, don't go Freddy Alvarez.
Fede.
Fetty?
Fede Wap. But Fede.
Is his first name FTTY?
No, I think, but it's like Feddie or something. Pretty sure.
Fiddy?
Fede.
Oh, you said
Like
I.
Fede Wap, but instead of T's, it's D's.
Freddy without the R.
Yeah, Freddy.
Freddy.
There you go. It's close enough.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like... What?
I hope his name's just Freddy now. Yeah, it's Fede. Again, like Fede Wap.
Fetty Alvarez.
Fede Alvarez.
Parents, name your children.
Segue this. You can get out of this.
Fetty is as close to Freddy as John Wick 2 was as close to John Wick 1. Here are a review next.
Say it again.
Fetty is as close to Freddy as John Wick 2 was to John Wick 1.
It's very close.
He's not wrong.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Hear the sound of the bells when the Lord comes.
Accounts payable, how may I help you?
I'd like to open an account.
Name on the account?
John Wick.
The contract has gone international. You have no idea what's coming.
Somebody please get this man a gun.
Hi. Let's see. I think it was really, for me, it was cool to have the opportunity because of the people who enjoyed the film, which gave us the opportunity to keep telling the story and find out what happens next. I hope I get to tell more of that story. Thanks.
Keanu Reeves is back again in John Wick Chapter 2. And you know what? I'm going to say straight out before we get into it, I just personally thought the movie, like a straight line. So I want to get your guys' opinion to try and take me either way. Like, get me re-amped up about this movie now that I've seen it, or just full on make me dislike this movie based on what you guys think. Because right now, I just thought it was okay.
I mean, I have so many things to say.
Then I'm gonna let you take away with it because
Great.
I thought it was just okay.
So a movie for me has never ridden on the line. Like, this movie was grinding on the line of becoming excessive the entirety of that movie. Did anyone else feel that way? Like, every single fight scene, towards the tail end of it, I was like, they got to wrap this up real quick. But they always did. They always wrapped it up, like, right as the timer. Like, you're playing the game, and you're like, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, and then you knock it out. Like, they just always knocked it out right at the end. So, for me, it was like, it was getting close. There was clearly some escalation. Like, things got a little more ridiculous, and he had on, like, this armor that just allowed him to get shot all the time.
Oh, that part was...
That part was a bit much, but I still thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
I enjoyed the movie. Escalation of kill count. We had like 77 in the last movie.
Do you know what it was?
My final count. I was keeping
have it
track.
right here.
10 billion.
It was 120.
128.
Ah!
How many shots fired?
Oh, I don't know.
302.
2 for every shit. He does the double tap.
80% shot accuracy.
80% shot accuracy. All right, now
That's
that
cool infographic.
Yeah, we'll look at it.
Now, see, now that being said, like I said, there's a lot of stuff I liked about this movie.
Cool pup.
Yes. However, we'll get to that as it goes on. This movie is so dark, like, compared to, like, even the first one. Like, in the first one, his wife dies, his dog gets killed, his car gets stolen. And this movie actually is darker, I think, than the first one. I can't say until we get to the end. But I feel like the movie as a whole is much darker than the first one. And I'll give it credit because it goes one way when I thought it was going to go another.
I mean, I think they actually did a good job of, because like the whole time they played the classic trope in the first one of like, oh man, once you get sucked back into this life, like the second you dip your toe back into the water, you're right back into it. And like that, they say that in every action movie. But then this entire second movie was like, yeah, we weren't fucking around. Like once you take a step back, everyone senses it. Everybody sees the blood in the water and goes for it. So in that sense, like yes, because the whole time whereas the other one, like, he was on a quest to, like, do this. This, he didn't want to do this. Like, he was forced into it. Like, he had absolutely no choice. So, I think it also kind of, you felt more of a connection to him in this one. Like, this was always also what I had say has going for this movie is, like, above Bond, like, above other like, characters, I rooted for him. Like, Dominic Toretto, great. You're going to say that I don't care about Dominic Toretto, to be honest. But, like, this character, like, I wanted him to succeed. I was like, oh, man, can't you just find some inner peace? Like, he really resonated with me.
And you mentioned Bond, and the Rome shootout scene with, like, the rave coronation party is actually the same set. They filmed in the same location as, which is the most beautiful cinematography I've seen in a long time in movies.
It was very impressive.
The lights, the colors, just walking through. It was like that scene from Kingsman almost on acid, where it's just constant firing, but you get all these bright, vivid colors, and that's coming from a colorblind man, so I guess take that with a grain of salt. However,
even better.
Even better for you. So, no, but that's the exact same location as The Spy Who Loved Me.
Oh, interesting.
When he first meets Jaws, and they're running through like those catacomb things. It's doubling as Egypt, I think, in that movie. But
what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
Interesting. That's a fun little tidbit. Steve, thoughts?
Did anyone think that this was the loudest movie they've ever seen?
Yes.
It was up there.
The beginning with the motorcycle revving was like
so much revving.
Tone it down a little bit, but it was loud.
I mean, when I'm in the streets, I think that guys are assholes for revving that for like 2 seconds. Yeah. And this was like nonstop revving. I was slightly concerned if there was going to be another motorcycle in this movie.
The opening was a bit much for me. I was almost, especially because I was so worried that generic Russian boss guy that I can't think of his name from like Bad Boys 2 and
was he in
the Russian guy? Just Russian guy.
Russian guy.
In Snatch?
No, the previous guy was in Snatch.
Character.
The previous guy was in Snatch. And yeah, it's basically the same actor. Yeah. So I was like, oh Christ, we're literally getting the same movie over again. Like his brother's going to be the villain. And
that actor was in Minority Report. He did the eyeball change for Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
He's every shady Russian guy. But I thought that was a great wrap up because that essentially ended the first movie. He got his car, he got even. There was no reason to kill. Like the brother had nothing to do with anything, and he's like, peace. It's like, can you have peace? Sure, why not? And it was like,
I want peace.
it also kind of led to the idea of like, why can't I have peace? He's like, because
You stepped back in.
you just killed like 80 people. I really liked that intro without the revving.
I thought the fight in the warehouse, no one having guns, was a little.
Yes,
They're running
agreed.
from 10 meters away, like running at John Wick. Like nobody in this mob
Has
run
guns.
place has a gun. Like,
I mean, I guess the argument you'd have is that it was like the mechanics, but I feel like even they would have some kind of
I mean, they
sidearm.
looked like what
In case
they knew what
people
they
went to
were
go
doing.
steal a car from them or something.
Yeah. So that was a little bit, but I think it was also they wanted to show off like, hey, Keanu knows MMA. We really practiced it because there's way more hand-to-hand combat than there was.
What did you
the
think of the International Continental with
liked it.
even Italian Ian McShane? I'm sorry.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I like the idea that there's a network. I don't want to give up the joke that he had because I thought it was very funny, but
Which one?
the joke about the guy that led the the Italian Continental, when they sat down, and he just wanted to make sure the one thing was cool.
Oh yeah. Okay, that yeah.
I don't want
that's
to ruin
fair.
that because I thought that was very funny.
That was yes.
And I also love the idea. It was also fun to see like because we never got to see him actually prepping for an assassination.
Right.
It was fun to
So-
see him going through like yes, even though he just seems like this unstoppable killing machine, like when he's doing his job. He's looking at plans. He's setting up the proper things that he needs to do. He's getting the equipment. Like seeing that whole inner workings of the assassin guild or whatever it is come together. That was really cool. I like that montage.
It does two things. One, it makes me assume every person from homeless man to anything now is just an assassin. Like
that was what I was gonna say.
There's
at
more
the end
assassins
of it.
than people. I think. Like
it's like at what point do you like? Oh, guys, we won. We don't have to kill anybody anymore.
right?
It really shows all the advantages he has of being a part of the society, which at the end of the movie really comes into play.
Yes.
You're like, oh, he has everything at his disposal in that. Well, we'll talk about more later when we get to the end, but.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, and two, it made me want to see. They keep talking about a comic book, a prequel series on a young John Wick, other assassins in this universe. No, just give us the hotel. That's all I really want to see. I want to see the inner workings of this organization or this hotel.
That now that there's more than one hotel and that it's actually a network of like now I want to know how did these start. If they said that the comic prequel was going to be how these hotels and like how this network of spies came together.
Yeah.
Which is like that really says something about the design of everything because like one it had a similar things like these assassins have been for thousands of years. Like I don't give a shit about that. But this was a very impressive like cohesive story and like kind of
Yeah, how did all this come together to where you could just be, and to a certain extent, you are just killing each other sometimes, but yet you have this well-integrated society of, I assume now there's one in London, there's one in like Rio de Janeiro, like I'm assuming every major like capital and
I assume
continent.
there's 12 of them, which goes into my prediction of what the high table is about and what I think the third one could be.
Was there any mention of high table in the first chapter?
No. That's all new elements. Like a lot of this is new elements too, and like the reason that he gets back in is because he has to fulfill essentially a blood oath that he sealed with one guy, which thrusts him back into the inner workings of everything. Which
And if he refuses the blood oath, the Continental has to kill him because it's.
I don't think the Continental has to kill him, but I think the High Council, which is like these
could
12
authorize his
masters
assassination.
can excommunicate him and put him out there.
So,
do we want to get into spoilers?
we do. I want to get into actors first.
Okay.
Then we'll get into spoilers.
Common was great.
Common was good. Keanu Reeves being Keanu Reeves at his best
is so.
He can be out of his element, which I'll get to another person in a second, which was clearly out of their element. But Keanu can be out of his element. But this is exactly what his element is.
Yep.
It's almost silent man, doesn't talk a lot, but is a very physical actor.
Yep.
Because he's not going to give you like a wider range of emotions, but he can give you a certain type of person and carry a film as that certain type of person. It's why the first Matrix was so good.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the exact same, but it's a similar thing to like Clint Eastwood.
Yes.
Like you don't talk, you say a few words. Not the best actor in the world by any means, but those words resonate because you feel like the impact of what this character is. So even if the delivery isn't that great, you're still resonating with this character. So there is that impact.
Mm-hmm.
Little let down by Lawrence Fishburne. Wasn't like they kept playing up the whole first time since the Matrix, and I kept waiting for like that one Matrix zinger, but never came. So
I just didn't understand. Like, so there's also a poor person network.
Yeah, it was kind of like,
and they're shoving like microchips into pigeons.
Yeah, they're the
It's
Saul
just
Guerrero of the
information.
network.
They're
like
people
that's
on every corner.
right.
To
Yeah,
locate someone, they need to get info on.
yeah, I suppose.
You got eyes everywhere.
I just
but-
couldn't. I mean, maybe I guess I needed a little more of it's like.
Yeah,
But can't you just do that, but with people in fancy suits?
Yeah, it was
Because
just
how many
what-
times are you assassinating somebody that you can only get a beat on in the subway?
It was left very vague.
They said they were on
as to
every
what exactly-
corner of the city, so I mean.
How many times do you see homeless people here in Chicago?
Never.
They were all
I take
assassins.
black cars everywhere.
Okay. They were all assassins. I'm scared for my life.
That is accurate.
There's a lot of assassins then in
I
Chicago.
believe it.
So, yeah, I was a little let down by Lawrence Fishburne. The person who's out of their element is Ruby Rose.
Yes.
She was awful at this role. She was awful.
She was awful in Triple X, too.
Was she? Okay, because she was okay in Resident Evil. Like, she served her purpose in Resident Evil as what it was supposed to be.
She in Resident Evil?
Mm-hmm. Told you,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, we
she was.
talked about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's in a lot of things
I mean,
right
she's
now.
a model, right?
Yes.
She's not an actress.
Is she normally mute?
No.
No. Okay, so that was just
Her big breakout role was on
Orange is the New Black, which she's fine in that too. From episodes I've seen, I've been forced to watch episodes thanks to multiple exes over the course of my life, and it's been fine.
In your dating profile, it should be like, "Don't make me watch shows I don't want to watch."
They're kind of in the same vein of "Don't make me listen to Taylor Swift." So it's in like there's like this tiny
There's
little
a hierarchy there. For you. Okay.
Valentine's Day. How appropriate.
I didn't think she was bad. I just thought like her character was. She didn't bother me that much. It was just
The signing was just it didn't okay, so you know when people like rag on Megan Fox, like, oh, she's just there because she's a pretty face.
Yeah.
But my argument is always you don't cast Megan Fox in a role that she can't handle. This is when you cast someone like that in a role they can't handle, and they're just there as a pretty face.
No, I was actually thinking that on the way over here. It was like she was supposed to be like this super badass, and like she does not have that same level of like physicality that Keanu does, and it's like her character was not imposing at all.
Are we into spoilers yet?
Yes, we're kind of segueing into it basically.
She didn't put up much of a fight there at the end,
which is actually what I would kind of liked.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed I actually thought that was a pretty good fight because it really resonated with to me what would have actually happened in that situation. Is there was a lot of fancy footwork in the beginning, but the quarters got enclosed, and you have a stronger person that like. It's similar to the Hellboy and the Golden Army thing, where the elf is just spinning around doing all kinds of shit, and then Hellboy finally grabs him. He's like, "Dance around now." It's like, so once he got her, it was done. So that I actually enjoyed that fight. I thought that fight was really well put together because she got her blows in. It just wasn't enough to take him down. And as soon as he was able to press a physical advantage of classic knife fight, where I don't think that's ever really happened, where two people are holding knives on each other trying to stab each other, and it sits there for that long.
It happened more than once in this movie.
I know, but in the first one with Khan, it was like, oh, these equally strength men. I just don't think that really happens. But with that situation, that's exactly what would have happened. It's like the fight lasted for a couple seconds, and then she got stabbed.
It was more so like normally when I see sign language in a show, which I'm mimicking bad sign language as I'm saying this.
Yeah.
But I at least believe what they're doing is sign language. Like, I'm pretty sure what she was doing was the appropriate signs. But, like, it didn't to me look like it was, like, actual sign language. Like, she's just like, all right, swinging my hands here. All right, swinging my hands here. Doing this. Like,
lazy sign language.
It could have heard it that whenever she did the sign language, it was, like, cool text, and then one of the letters was, like, on fire or something.
Sure.
The only thing, so I wanted this to happen. I don't know why I wanted this to happen. Maybe it's because I'm a fan of this sign, but at the end when he does kill her and she was like, see you soon, because he always like kind of responds like half-heartedly and no sign and stuff, and so he would respond back to her, and then he says sure, and then gives the sign for sure. Instead of giving the sign, I just wanted him to give her a thumbs up and say sure and go on his way. That would have made this movie.
Was that last sign of hers see you? Or
I'll be seeing you.
I'll be seeing
Yeah.
you? Oh, I thought it was like put me out of my misery or
See,
something.
no, that's the thing.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't get across what it is she's
I thought
doing.
she's like, end it.
But it said seeing you, and I'll be seeing you soon. And he
like,
just
nope.
like, sure. But a thumbs up there, oh, magnificent.
All right, so getting into spoilers, where they leave this movie off.
Keep in mind we haven't talked about the actual plot.
Okay, you want
at all.
to do that?
No,
then?
you just cover it briefly because I mean it's kind of interesting. The bad guy that he signed a contract with that helped him get out originally, calls back on his contract, and he wants John Wick to kill his sister, who is one of the tops of the table, one of the 12 seats of the table. He's like, well, if I do this, the table's going to be really mad at me. They're like, well, you don't have a choice. Just do it and get out. So he kills her, sort of. She kind of does some self-inflicted wounds because she goes out her own style, which, okay. And then obviously it's loose end situation.
That's where I thought it was going to be different. I'm like, oh, she's slitting her own wrist. And when we see the shot fired of him shooting her in the head, we didn't really see, like, there's a lot of graphic deaths in this film.
But we didn't see that
But
one.
we didn't see the brain splat. You know what I'm saying? Like, there wasn't, I was like, okay, she's going to come out. And, you know, I'm like, okay, this is where the twist is going to come in. Like, it's going to be now hunt down the brother, and like she's going to be really like hiring him, taking over the contract.
Yeah.
I was kind of waiting for that to happen through almost out the entire film, and I was like, oh,
She just did.
not okay.
Oh, you thought she might not have been dead?
Yeah.
Oh, she slit her own wrist.
But yes, but she did it herself. And how many times in movies it's like, oh, I had blood packets in there. Oh, fake skin. He's wearing a suit that stops bullets. It's not like anything else is out of the imagination in this.
Hey, they did say again. Remember, it's state of the art tech.
Right.
One thing that
I thought it was maybe a blood tub. I don't know.
I thought, because my mind was actually pacing a good amount in that scene where she was alone with him talking about things, and I think again, Keanu said nothing.
Right.
That whole, but I was like, oh my god. So is he gonna kill her? Is he not gonna kill her? And the plot is actually gonna spin and be to go after
the brother.
The brother. Is he not gonna kill her? And Kamen actually ends up killing her. Like, there could have been so many things that happen, and the whole time it's just her like talking a little bit and Keanu just staring
and giving,
and
like,
for some
one
reason
or
I was like,
two-word answers.
yes, this is doing it for me.
I didn't think he was going to take that shot because then it wouldn't
Right.
raise any questions. It was like, oh, she committed suicide. Did John actually
But
do
he
it?
still has to confirm that
Yeah.
I think with the way that these blood oaths
Marker
work,
works.
that it like has to, there can be no happenstance. So we get to the end.
Right. Everyone, I think, is still at this point kind of on John Wick's side until.
I'm totally on his side.
No, not us, not the audience, the people in the movie.
Right. Oh yeah, John Wick all day.
Until he basically bursts down the door of the hotel and breaks one of the only two rules that you don't break within this industry, and that is kill someone on neutral soil.
Yes, he does it quite quickly.
Which at
without
the end, too,
remorse.
I still didn't know if he was going to do it or not. Like, I didn't think
he was.
I thought it was happening for sure. I was like, yo, this is going down.
As soon as Ian McShane was like, don't do it, I was like, he's going to do it.
So Jonathan is like, nope, that's it. I saw Deadpool. I know how this ends. So and then he walks away, but what's his name? What's his name? Wilson?
Yeah.
Wilson opts to not kill him, but
give him like a 1 hour head start.
he gives him a 1 hour head start before he puts a contract on him because he is excommunicado. So now there's just a really depressing scene of just like, it's actually a really great, it's almost like an Invasion of the Body Snatchers kind of scene.
Oh,
where,
no,
like,
it's a great ending
he's
shot.
He's running through the park and the texts are going out to every assassin, and everybody's on their phones nowadays.
Well, I just assumed they were all assassins. Like,
And also, yeah, but that's the
once
thing. The
again-
whole time, me too. I was like, that lady's an assassin. That small baby, also an assassin. He's a plastic phone he's playing with. I'm like, nope.
That's a midget. That's a midget in a carriage.
The escalation of this movie, even as soon as he kills her and the hit gets put out on him the first time from the brother, and he has to like fight his way through a wave of assassins to get home. Like, it escalated and it just kept firing, and that was so good. And I thought it was a really strong way to end the movie.
It does, except for one or two things. Your sequel now has to be, it has to be Keanu versus everyone.
I know what my sequel is.
But he gets help from Kamen, you assume, because since we're already into spoilers, he basically keeps him alive. So you assume Kamen's like, oh, he's a decent guy, I help him. Or, I mean, if not, like, or maybe John Leguizamo's helping him, who probably got paid so much money for 3 seconds worth of screen time.
So my theory is there's some relative or something that causes what's his name, the owner of the Continental in New York, to be killed, and then what's the guy, The black guy with the glasses that works the front desk in
Charon,
both movies.
or Charon.
Charon, yeah.
The one that watches his dog, he takes his place as leader of that group.
Ooh.
And then that's the only one that will shelter John Wick when, for some reason, things start going awry at the table of 12. And the only logical answer is that Wick is now going to take out the 12.
Yeah.
And just, like, dissolve this entire thing because of what it does to people.
That could be your only sequel, because if not, I'm sorry, guys, the dog dies too. Like, that's not a good life for that dog. Like,
oh, that was also an
that was
issue
the most
I-
depressing part. Like, no, like at the end when he goes to pick up the dog, it's like, dog should probably stay with you.
Yeah, when he was like, come out of the cab, I was like, no, get back in the car. Like, leave the dog.
You're on the run now from what I'm assuming is everybody in the world.
But I guess the question is,
Dog is with
do you
him.
want another one? Should there be another one?
Yes.
I
They're
said-
already working on
I
another
think there's
one.
gonna be.
But
Wouldn't
do you
call
want
it
it?
chapter
Should
2
there?
without it?
I don't want one.
I do. For the exact plot that we just described.
I want it, but I want it to be a similar plot to what you just described, and then it has to be done.
Oh, yeah,
Everything
yeah.
seems to be needs to do a sequel. It needs to do a trilogy now. So fine, if you have a third act in mind and you wrote this second act with this third act in mind, because it does end almost very Empire-esque. If Keanu doesn't want to do it, it can be done. It can be over. If Keanu wants to do
Yeah.
it,
I actually
then you
like-
can do a third one.
I actually like the end. I think that this is a great way to end it. Like, this guy has nothing to fight for anymore. He's closed all the loose ends that his
That
story
dog.
is done. He's got the dog. Correct.
He
He's
didn't
got the
name
dog.
because he's afraid if he loses. I mean,
But it's I like the idea of also like the way that he
Oh, I never
rides
picked
off
up
into
on
the
that.
sunset, and it's the way that he answered in the end is like, go ahead and tell, like, I know everybody's coming here, but go ahead and tell them, whoever you send, I'll kill him. Like, I'll kill them all. And he's like, yeah, you will. And that's the ending. I'm just like, nobody's getting this guy. Because at this point, he either shuts it down. John Wick does not die to me. You don't kill him in the end of the third one. He finds another purpose and is set off anew.
See, I think you have to leave that open, because you talk about like you hanging on Keanu not speaking and everything else. That's part of the thing, is like, and we mentioned this when we watched the first one. It's like, we know Dominic Toretto's coming out alive. We know any character that Sylvester Stallone plays is coming out alive.
But we don't.
I
still
don't
not
know
sure
that
about
John Wick,
but
yeah,
I'm
is
saying
coming
that
out.
was for me personally. Like,
Oh,
you don't
okay.
fucking kill this guy at this point. I'm too invested.
Gotcha.
is anyone else torn with the dog? I really wanted to see the dog
Attack someone.
kick some ass,
Yeah.
but I
Maybe
didn't
that's
want,
the
like,
third one.
You know, the pit bull stigma that they're like.
Oh, and it
dangerous.
was a
I didn't
pit
wanna,
bull.
like,
That
further
might be.
like,
It's a cute
I
pup,
think they
though.
did. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man.
He's a good boy.
I'm not an animal person, really. And that ending for that dog, the entire time he's run away, I'm just thinking of
That dog's
the
gonna
dog.
be fine.
The dog is going to die so horribly.
It also did a good job of just the illusion of like yeah, this dog probably kicked some ass.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was well behaved and well trained, and they never did anything where he was like growling at anybody. But you're still like, yeah,
And you left him with that concierge. He taught him some tricks. Like,
yeah. His name is Dog.
so, all right, let's rate this then. I mean, are we all on the same page? See it in theaters, or is this something you should
See it
wait?
in theaters. It's not as good as the first one, but again, you're getting into a Casino Royale situation where it's impossible to beat that movie because you had no expectations. You didn't know what it was going to be.
Yeah.
So, still pretty good though.
Okay.
Suffered a little from escalation, but
Oh, escalation. I don't have a segue.
don't need one.
Whenever I want something smooth and classy, I listen to 3 Wise Radio.
It is February 14th, the day we released this cast, which means it's Valentine's Day, or as the commercial industry likes to know it, Christmas Part 2. It's an entire another Roman Catholic holiday based around solely the chance for you to buy things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
You can get a buy one, get one at Qdoba.
No way.
Yep.
Lunch and dinner, baby.
No, hang on. I believe...
Yes.
Hang on, because I just went to Qdoba recently. I believe there has to be a kiss involved.
There has to be a kiss involved, and it says in the advertisement that it can be with a person, it can be with a phone, it can be with you pretending just to kiss the air.
Who I got? Yeah, okay, so I can do whatever.
Yeah.
Right on. They don't let dogs into the place.
But
Okay.
Lunch and dinner, baby.
However, because it is Valentine's Day, we thought we'd take a look at rom-coms, romantic comedies, a genre within itself where two people try to start a relationship and hilarity ensues, except if you really break it down, most people in rom-coms are just awful people.
yeah.
Accurate.
Just awful people. And for example, one of the first rom-coms, and one of the most memorable, is The Graduate. in which I am been blanking on this actor's name all day. Dustin Hoffman. Thank you. I appreciate that. He, at the end, ruined the marriage of this woman whose mom he sleeps with halfway through the film. This is where the seducing Mrs. Robinson comes into play. Ruins her marriage, and then they get on a bus together and just sit there. Because it's like, oh, we're going to start our life now. What do we do?
Don't reflect on the past.
Don't reflect on the wedding. You just screwed up. And this is a great scene in just about all rom-coms where it's like, apparently there's this unwritten law in the universe that all you have to do is get to the church before they say, is there anyone who objects to this? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Because apparently if you beat that line, you're golden. Forget all the money people spent on this wedding and the reception. Forget all the years these people have had attached to each other. You just got to beat that line.
Joe, they didn't want to get married in the first place.
There's a lot of money you're putting down on weddings if you really don't want to get married.
Are you saying that the decision should be made, well, we might as well just get married now, even if I love someone else, because this deposit is non-refundable?
Well, kind of at that point. People have married for less.
He's not wrong.
And usually by the time you're at the ceremony, the papers have already been signed, which is the legal document anyway. No one goes through the ceremony and then signs a legal document later. Because you're usually too drunk and you can't sign the legal document while inebriated.
I don't know what kind of weddings you've been going to. Usually it's in the middle of the ceremony.
They stop and make you sign in the middle of the ceremony?
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I've only been to Catholic weddings.
Have you ever seen?
They don't do it at a Catholic wedding.
Yeah, they do.
I don't know about that.
I think so. Maybe after.
All right, let's get married. Figure it out.
My sister signed hers after, under the tent at the reception.
A few weddings I've been to has been.
They stop the middle of the wedding and like, here, sign.
No, it's
like
part of it.
They go like to the side and while music's playing and people are moving and sign it, or they do it after. I think it's after.
Interesting.
Have you ever seen anyone say anything? Like
at a wedding?
Yeah.
No, have you?
No.
Oh.
I can only think of one movie where it happens. Wedding Crashers.
Where they have their own vows?
No, where it's like, hey, if you speak up now or forever hold your peace.
Oh, nah.
And Wedding Crashers is not even her wedding.
That's not
Yeah.
real.
Someone else.
Is that it? Okay.
No, it's Vince Vaughn's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
It's not.
Never mind.
Yeah, because the whole time he's like, I'm trying to get married, pal.
So there are things like that, or there's just like Pretty Woman, where at the end of the day, Richard Gere was just picking up a prostitute.
Heart of gold.
No, not how it works.
Why is she a prostitute? I've never seen it.
I've seen it, but I don't remember most of it because it's been a long time since I've seen it. So there's these examples, or there's the example of we had a whole podcast on Tom Hanks being one of the most likable actors, and we wondered if Tom Hanks had ever actually played a villain.
You've Got Mail.
Yes, he is actually a villain in You've Got Mail.
Play it
He's
out
the big
for me.
capitalist, big bookstore asshole who
Barnes and Noble?
Fox Books.
But basically Barnes and Noble, yes.
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, even those are going out of business now, but it's like almost like what Amazon is now to everything else. Like, we're putting all the little corner stores out of business, and Meg Ryan owns one of these little stores.
Aww.
Good movie.
And he sabotages her store, and then it's like corresponding email, which, by the way, she's dating Greg Kinnear at the time, and it's like through these emails and sabotaging the store makes her start to question her relationship with Greg Kinnear, and then swoops in at the end. Tom Hanks played a villain, and we didn't even realize it.
He's so likable.
Yes! He's so likable that when he plays a villain, you're like, you're right. Oh, she didn't love him anyway. Oh, you're right. She didn't need that store.
That's the idea, though, of the romantic comedy, and that's why I dislike it, is because these people have to start on the shitty end of the spectrum. And most of the time, they don't ever get less shitty.
Yeah.
They just are in love, so you just kind of look away from it. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. I've got two other really good ones that I want to get to. But Sam, I know you did some research. I know Steve has one. What are some other?
You've Got Mail was mine.
Oh, that was yours. That's going to be yours. All right.
It fits the mold just about perfectly. Yeah. Mine was just mine. I had a couple ones. So the worst one that I've ever had, which What Happens in Vegas.
Oh.
With Ashton Kutcher and Cameron Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
So she loses her job, or she was going to get engaged and then gets dumped, and he loses his job. So they both go to Vegas. Okay, totally fine.
They go to Vegas together?
They go to Vegas together. No, separately. They don't know each other. They get really drunk and get married. First stupid decision. But you know what?
It's Vegas.
It's funny. It's Vegas, which is not an excuse.
But it has happened in real life.
Sure. So then they go to get a divorce, and she gives him a coin, and he puts a coin in the machine and then pulls the lotto and wins big, wins $3 million. So she doesn't get the divorce so that she can have the money. And then they go to court to get a split up. And the court guy, who I can't remember what his name was, but he says, you're sentenced to 6 months of being married, and maybe that will help you learn your lesson, because reality is in the movies. To which case, now they're just trying to get the other to divorce them so that they can get all $3 million, instead of just waiting it out for 6 months and then doing an even split and both taking $1.5 million.
Dennis Miller, by the way.
Dennis Miller. Like, these are just garbage human beings that, like, can't stick it out for 6 months to get $1.5 million. Is that they have to sabotage each other to try and get the full 3. And, of course, they fall in love and yada, 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 because they're both beautiful people, and what are you going to do? But Rob Riggle is in this. Or not Rob Riggle. Who's the bald guy in Hot Tub Time Machine?
Rob Corddry?
Rob Corddry is in this. And for him, it's just like, you're a horrible person. I'm moving on. Like, I don't want to be your friend. That's just a horrible example of, like, these aren't good people.
This wasn't one of my 2 examples, but I just saw this up, so I got to say it. But you haven't seen it because it's a Sandra Bullock movie. While You Were Sleeping.
What's that?
She is an awful person. So it's with Bill Pullman and who was Mike's favorite actor from the OC? Who played like...
It's not Chad Michael Murray.
No, but it's the guy who did the dad. So these 2 are brothers. And the guy from the OC falls into a coma.
Oh, no.
And keep in mind, Sandra Bullock is just someone who's been stalking this man. Like, just seeing him on the subway and like, oh, or whatever. So he falls into a coma and, like, follows him to the hospital. And like, oh, are you family? Or it's like, no, but he's my boyfriend. Or he's my fiance. Or one of the 2. And they're like, what? And then the family, like, believes it and, like, welcomes her into her home. Oh, yeah. Welcomes her into her home. And then she falls for the brother who's played by Bill Pullman. And then starts, like, dating the brother behind, like...
And this movie's called While You Were Sleeping?
Yes! You have to.
That's a damn good title.
You have to. And then, like, the dude wakes up and they're like... And he's like, I'm not dating her. And they're like, oh, my God, he's got amnesia. He clearly doesn't remember dating this woman even.
Just
and so,
super gaslights this dude while he's in coma.
Yes!
Holy shit.
It's a messed up movie when you break it down.
But love, Joe.
Right, apparently love triumphs all at the end.
There's probably some ha-has in there as well.
Yes.
You know.
But yeah, she's a straight up supervillain. Manipulating people's lives.
Yeah, that's a Lex Luthor move. To try and win an old lady's estate. Pretty sure that happened in one of the movies. Yikes. Another one that I had, Confessions of a Shopaholic.
I haven't seen that
with
one.
Isla Fisher. I mean, long story short, she's just in massive credit card debt. And they're like, oh no, how did this happen? I love to shop. And then she just works at a magazine to save money and writes a good story. And then everybody's like, oh, credit card debt. Who cares about that? Poor decisions. Whatever. You're in love and you love Prada. Cool. It's like, no, she doesn't really make any moves to... I mean, I guess at the end she sells a really rare scarf she has that pays off all of her bills or whatever. But you're not growing into be I guess you're becoming a better person, but instead of growing to become a good person, you're just going from shitty person to regular person.
Mm-hmm. Then there's
unimpressed.
Adam Sandler in 50 First Dates.
Man.
That's like...
That's so sad.
It's sad, but look at it from like not like a movie perspective. If you see this man who just keeps taking out this woman who doesn't remember anything about the past like day.
She's entitled to love, right? Does she remember him in the end of that movie?
No. He starts making like video compilations of like, hey, we had a kid.
He went Memento on it.
Yeah.
Wait, they had a kid?
Yeah.
Oh, that's 9 months of unemployment. Whoa.
See?
I just read a
That gets
story.
creepier. I didn't know that part.
I'm pretty sure they have a kid.
That takes a lot.
Because
man.
like they fix up a boat, they go and start going up into the Arctic or whatever, because that's what he wants to do with his life or something.
Oh, she's not gonna know.
Right.
Just tell her whatever.
She just watches a videotape.
He just makes a videotape every day.
See, that's
it's unrealistic, guys.
I saw a news story like 2 days ago where this guy had a girlfriend, had amnesia or whatever, got in an accident, and they fell back in love. We got it to happen again.
Yeah, but she didn't have
maybe not
repetitive
like
amnesia
24-hour reset,
every day.
but I don't know. It's close.
that was a plot point in like some TV show. Was it American Dad?
50 First Dates?
Might have been American Dad. Anyway, so yeah, they said there's so many. I'm just going through these lists, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about this one. I forgot about this one. There's so many examples. How to lose a guy in 10 days. It is too okay. So
it's just two people trying to get the other person to break. That they're not even together for love. It's just to try and write a good article, right?
And but they don't know the other person's writing an article about each other.
So they're just being shitty to another human being.
Yes.
For profit.
Yes, that is atrocious.
It happens.
Kate Hudson. She's the worst.
Another one of my examples. I was going to jump to a later Sandra Bullock movie, The Proposal with her and Ryan Reynolds. She holds his job hostage to pretend that he's her fiance.
'Cause she's Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Imagine if the roles were reversed and it was a guy doing that to a woman. That's a sexual harassment assault if I ever heard one.
Right, but Sandra Bullock's such a strong lead based on Speed. It's the only movie I've seen with her. None of them.
So I have my coup de grace, by the way, of romantic comedies that trumps all these, but I want to save it. If you have other...
Is it 500 Days of Summer?
It is not, but...
that movie's hot garbage.
It is.
She's the worst. I'm going to leave it at that.
Who's that?
Zoe Deschanel.
Zoe Deschanel.
Ah.
She plays like I'm not really... She plays Zoe Deschanel, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays him, and they're just so gross together. But she's like, I don't want a relationship, and then he breaks up, or then she breaks up with him, and then they meet back up later, and she's very like lovey-dovey towards him. He's like, oh, are we getting back together? She's like, no, we're just great friends now. And then she's engaged, and he just basically gets shit on the whole time. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's not. Sucks. All right, what's the trump card?
All right. 13 going on 30. It's a movie about pedophilia.
Bringing down the hammer.
Is Mark Ruffalo in that movie?
Yes.
Is he the pedophile?
Yes.
But he doesn't know it. It's like whoopsie daisy.
No, she has like more than once come out and been like...
Wait, what's the movie about?
That's the Jennifer Garner one where she like goes to bed at like 13 and then wakes up in her 30-year-old body.
Nice.
So in her mind, she's still 13. It's the same thing. We've used this example before. It's like dating the Charlize Theron character from Arrested Development. Like, you have the mind of a child in a grown woman's body doesn't mean that it's okay.
Mr. F?
Yes.
It's a great couple of episodes. So, wait, who's Mark Ruffalo in that?
The love interest.
Right, but did she love him before she got big?
No, she didn't know him before she got big.
But did she tell him, I'm the 13-year-old in the 30-year-old's body?
I believe eventually, and like it comes up, yes, because like you have this whole thing where like she is doing 13-year-old things.
Speaking
and like
of big, Tom Hanks, big.
Also,
it's like the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a pedophile.
But
they sleep together, don't
tell
they?
Him.
But can't blame him.
Wait. They sleep together, actually.
I don't know.
Yeah, because he calls top bunk, right?
No, not actual sleeping.
She's like, nah, we're banging.
Do they sleep together in Big?
I think so.
Yeah, then she's a pedophile too, and she does know because she walks. That one's even worse. That one's even worse because at least Jennifer Gardner, like you don't see the little kid like go back in there. Like the girl from Big literally turns to Tom Hanks, is like, "Look me up when you get older," and then walks him home, sees him go up the stairs, and change into the kid.
Nice. But maybe she doesn't sleep with him. Now I just want to know if. Did she tell him? How does that movie end?
13 going on 30?
This genre is really... you gotta not think about it. No, not the romantic comedy. I'm young in a big person body. You're not gonna see those movies anymore.
Okay, wait. I'm going to... Because of this...
That ship has sailed. So, like, Matt, who was Mark Ruffalo, was the nerdy kid. And so she, like, time jumps, but she's still 13. Which is why Judy Greer...
Oh, you're right. Never mind.
Because all of her friends, she's like, no, otherwise it's just what is happening. All of her... Then it's just her hanging out in the park with 13-year-olds. And then all the adults are like, what's going on? So I think everybody time jumps.
Okay.
This didn't help. With anything.
I apologize. Anytime you bring in time travel, it ruins a movie. for the most part.
So we're big fans of rom-coms is what I'm getting here.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right on.
Rom-coms and the villains they aspire to be.
You know who's not a villain in rom-com?
Who?
Will Smith in Hitch. The best rom-com. Everyone's a winner in that movie.
Does he do anything to make the girl assume that she likes the guy against her will?
No, because doesn't.
No?
I think you're following that line of it's only as romantic as it is based on the reception of the feelings.
Because doesn't he kind of lead? It's Kevin James, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Kevin
he
James.
kind of like lead him astray, and like there's a big falling out between them two in the movie for a little bit.
I think not a lot. It's more of an issue between
Like
him
he can't pick up a girl himself, but he can help everyone
No,
else.
it's her because this is the first time because it's Eva Mendes. It's the first time that he hasn't been able to pick up a girl, and he's just struggling with her. It's not so much a struggle between him and Kevin James. I don't think there's a little falling out because Kevin James is too busy with. I don't know why I remember her name, but it's Allegra Cole is the character's name. Dude, that movie is rock solid.
That one stuck.
Yeah,
I'm all of them.
Yep. His name's Hitch.
Yes.
Kevin James, who plays Brainiac.
Which we'll get to
in our
next week.
Superman movies.
As usual, we end every episode with What's Piquing Your Interest, where we just say What's Piquing Our Interest. As usual, I'm going to start with Garrett. Garrett, what's piquing your interest on Valentine's Day?
What's piquing my interest?
Doesn't have to be Valentine's Day related.
No, it's C2E2 related. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is no longer going to be a guest this year.
Oh, what happened?
I'm not sure. I just know that he's not a guest anymore, and now we have 3 of the 5 kids from Stranger Things. So Sam gets to get all the autographs from Stranger Things cast.
Oh, is 11 going to be there?
Yeah.
Who's 11? Is it a boy or a girl?
11's girl.
It's the girl that's a real dick to everybody in those like banking commercials.
Oh, okay.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
All right. Steve, what's piquing your interest?
Well, it's mid-February, and we still don't have season 3 of Rick and Morty.
What happened? Yeah, was it supposed to
marks?
debut
Yeah.
in January?
It's supposed to be the end of 2016, I thought, and then it keeps getting pushed back, and Dan Harmon is getting pissed at fans that keep asking about him. He's starting to get angry on Twitter and interviews, but apparently Justin Roiland and him are the writers, and they've had a lot of disagreements, so it keeps getting pushed back. But
I mean, they are at kind of a pivotal point in the show where it's like, because South Park that was a pretty pivotal change. I think Trey and Matt are
Yeah,
close
but
enough,
I think
though.
they've always been on the same page. Like,
Right,
it
but I'm
wasn't-
saying like with this instead with Dan Harmon's had problems with writing crews before, like Community and things like that.
yeah, it looks like they're getting bigger with the story and everything, and considering how season 2 ended with Rick getting arrested, so I'm really looking forwed to it.
And that's the thing. Like, haven't we even got a clip though? Like, I thought
we got some weird like storyboarding, like very no color, just sketches stuff. It was pretty weird.
That's why you don't announce a
weird
release
show.
date until it's in the can.
Yeah.
That to me, like,
Did they give an actual release date?
yeah, it was supposed to be like January or something. Like,
Well, now there's not one.
right? But there was like a January release date. Like, I remember people like planning like watch parties even that I knew.
Yeah, Harmon's getting pissed.
Sorry, man. Like, I think he's a creative person, but you don't announce a release. That's rule number 1. Don't announce a release date until it's in the can. It's why we don't get like the House of Cards release date until like you don't even get a teaser for it until like 2 months before it comes out. It's because they want to make sure everything's in the can. And it's also why House of Cards always comes out like a year and a month or something, or a year and a week after it debuted last year. It's because like they have an idea in mind, like an area. Like, listen, Game of Thrones just wrapped their last episode of this current season. You don't have a start date official for that.
No, into summer, which is a lot later.
I mean, but that's fine. Like, you can give a range.
Seasonal should be probably
We
as close
expected
as
that.
you
Yeah.
ever give it. Yeah.
So, sorry, man. Suck it up. Don't say a date until you can't do it. Sam, what's piquing your interest?
Piquing my interest, Netflix is getting a Castlevania TV show.
Did I not talk about the Castlevania stuff a while back? Talking about how that would be a great TV show or movie?
I don't think you ever did.
I did.
I don't think you ever did.
If I can find that clip.
Plug our episodes in the past.
You mean episode 50?
Just all of them.
All of them? Okay.
Dig and find it, and then let us know which one it is, and you'll win a prize. The prize is another podcast.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think that'd be cool.
I think it would be.
Except they said it's in the style of Game of Thrones, which I think at this point, like
everything is in the style of Game of Thrones. However, in this one, there's actually castles, so they get points.
Say medieval fantasy.
I just want there to be vampires.
I just want there to be the guy from Game of Thrones who can tell me the games begin again.
Oh, who's the guy that plays the crow, the Red Raven?
Slido?
Yeah, that guy.
Nope, not that guy.
Did you say that?
I know who you're talking about.
He did it in Dracula Untold.
The guy that plays Tywin.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
What's his name?
Other guy.
He's really good.
Cool.
Anyway,
Charles Dance. Sorry.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, he turned to the camera at the end of Dracula and told us, like, they let the games begin! And the games never began.
They're working on it.
No, different universe.
Yep.
Speaking of shared universes, though, what's piquing my interest this week, Kevin Smith has finally given a long update on his View Askew universe. So for years we heard Clerks 3 was supposed to come out, then we heard Mallrats was going to come out, a sequel, then it was going to be a series. Well, on Instagram, he published a cover photo called Jay and Silent Bob Return, which is the working title. So he's going to delve back into the View Askew universe, and through a long Instagram post, has given basically updates on all those projects, saying Clerks 3 is no longer going to happen. It will never happen because one of the main stars has opted out of the film, Rosario Dawson. Don't need to say it, but there's only 4 people you can't make a Clerks sequel without. The only one who I can imagine wouldn't be begging for money is Rosario Dawson.
I think your odds would be that she was willing to do it, and then one of the guys that like isn't acting anymore, and was just like, no.
I mean, he has fought with Jeff Andrews in the past, but I don't know, man.
Does this upset you as the biggest Kevin Smith fan at this table?
Does it upset me? No,
because go to Clerks.
No, because I'm getting to it. So then he says Mallrats isn't going to happen because no one wants to pick up the series. Well, the problem with Mallrats and Clerks is that those are owned by Miramax and Universal. So the reason that's holding up Mallrats right now is because Universal wants money from any series that's made. However, because Jay and Silent Bob have been through all these films and in other properties, Kevin Smith does own Jay and Silent Bob. So what he's going to do is he's going to create a Jay and Silent Bob sequel that is about them going to stop the Blunt Man and Chronic reboot in Hollywood from being rebooted. And it's going to take you through the View Askew universe and everything else. Now, I do like this because he's teased this for so long that it's finally something that's going to happen. And he's pitched it to Miramax. It's happening. They love the first draft.
So it's going to get real meta to close it out?
That's the thing. It's supposed to not get meta because he's already teased the third installment in his Canadian trilogy or whatever that had Yoga Hosers and Tusk, and saying that Silent Bob is going to die in that movie.
Right.
And then the original idea was supposed to be whenever they make another one, he's going to come back as a Jedi ghost. And so on and so forth. So just a continuation of a series that I want to see. And like you said, people keep asking about certain things, and this is someone who's, like Dan Harmon, not complaining when someone asks him. This man gets asked at every con he goes to. Every con.
I mean, that's also what he does.
Yes. They were also in Scream 3. What did you knock over?
Wrap it up. Wrap it up, boys.
Man down.
While I try and figure out what just got knocked over.
I kicked my foot.
You kicked your foot?
That's what that was?
It's a table. Wrap it up. I'm out.
If you know anyone who can give Sam medical attention, there's many different ways you can tell us, and you can do so by emailing us at 3wiseradio@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram at 3wiseradio, or Twitter at 3wiseradio / hashtag 3wiseradio, or Facebook at 3wisemedia. That's going to do it for us this week. Join us next week when we'll get back to the Superman franchise that Sam will continue casting if he is still alive.
I don't think it's that serious. But, yeah.
3 Wise Radio is a production of 3 Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.